Philip McKeon told everything. That changes everything in the note he left behind. There is a new Philip McKeon. He was born Philip Anthony McKeon on November 11, 1964, in Westbury, New York, a small town in Nassau County on Long Island. He was born to Barbara McKeon, a stay-at-home mom who later helped her kids with their early careers, and Donald McKeon, a travel agent by trade. Philip grew up in a loving, close-knit family that encouraged imagination and helped him and his sister develop their early arts interests. His family taught him to be humble and follow the rules, which helped him a lot when he moved into the fast-paced and often uncertain world of show business. Philip and his younger sister Nancy McKeon were very close. Nancy would go on to become a successful actress in her own way. Known for her part as Jo Poliak on the popular sitcom from the 1980s The Facts of Life, the two brothers were related by blood and had both worked in the entertainment business, which would change both of their lives in different ways. Philip's professional life began amazingly early, when he was only 4 years old. His parents noticed how handsome and poised he was and started taking him to modeling auditions. It was a choice made for fun at first. Philip and Nancy went with their family to a modeling test not far from where they live in Westbury. To their surprise, both kids were noticed for how charming they were. Philip, on the other hand, was the first to get paid work. Because he was good in front of the camera and had beautiful blue eyes, he quickly got work as a print model. Magazine ads, newspaper spreads, and national TV spots all feature them. It was the early 1970s, which was a great time for advertising. Young Philip quickly became a well-known face in many American homes thanks to his roles in popular commercials. As his career as a model grew, so did his chances to perform live and act. In the years that followed, Philip's acting skills grew beyond modeling. He started to appear in plays on the stage, where he learned important skills like timing and performance that would help him in his later TV work. He also started getting small parts in movies and TV shows. Instead of being thrown into the spotlight without any training like many child actors, McKeon's background in modeling gave him important experience in front of the camera, which made his transition into acting easy. Being around the entertainment business from a young age put him in the public eye and taught him how to handle the challenges of fame and professionalism from a young age. It's interesting that Philip's youth wasn't all work. He liked sports, especially baseball, like a lot of boys his age. In fact, he played Little League Baseball in Williamsport, Pennsylvania in 1975. That city is famous for being the site of the Little League World Series. At that time, he even played with Benoit Benjamin, who would go on to play professional basketball in the NBA. This fun and important event showed that Philip stayed grounded in many ways, enjoying the simple pleasures of childhood and friendship away from the bright lights of the studio. Philip's first big experience with the show business happened a lot earlier, when he was still a toddler. By the time he was 2, his parents were already taking him and Nancy to New York City to try out for modeling and commercial roles. Philip was naturally comfortable in front of the camera. His clear voice and expressive eyes made him a favorite of casting directors. He quickly became one of the most wanted kid models at the time. In print ads for toys, clothes, and household items, his face was used in a lot of different products. His friendly personality also made him a good choice for TV commercials. It's not a surprise that Philip felt more and more at home in the world of performance as he spent more and more time with the media and cameras. He literally grew up in the entertainment business and saw how it all worked from the inside. Because he learned about the entertainment business early on, by the time he was ready for bigger parts, he already had a strong background in both acting and being a professional. Soon he was playing bigger parts on stage, where he showed off his strong presence and natural sense of when to be funny or serious, which are skills that aren't common in actors his age. It was during one of these Broadway shows that fate stepped in. Linda Lavin, a famous actress who had already performed on stage and screen, went to a show one night where Philip, who was 12, was acting. An early version of Lavin's role in the new CBS sitcom Alice was being planned. The show was based on Martin Scorsese's 1974 movie Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Lavin was blown away by Philip's talent, charm, and ease on stage right away. She liked him so much that she told the producers of Alice that he should play her son Tommy Hyatt on the show because she thought he would give the character real warmth and spark. Because of that big recommendation, Philip's career took a whole new turn. Philip tried out for the part and got it, taking over for child actor Alfred Lutter, who played Tommy in the pilot. He was cast in the right role. McKeon quickly became one of the most popular characters on the show. His boyish good looks, sandy blonde hair, and quick wit won over fans' hearts. Alice made her appearance on August 31, 1976 and was a big hit right away. It ran for 9 seasons, ending on March 19, 1985. During that time, Philip grew up right in front of everyone in America. As the show went on, he changed from a hyperactive kid to a thoughtful teen, going through both fabricated growing pains and real-life teen years on a national stage. McKeon became a teen idol because of his part on Alice. He was often featured in teen magazines and got fan mail from all over the country. He was more than just a pretty face, though. Fans and reviewers alike noticed how funny he was and how good an actor he was. He was nominated for 2 Young Artist Awards in 1981 and 1982 for Best Young Actor in a Television Series for his work on the show. This showed that his peers and people in the entertainment business saw how talented he was. Even though Alice made him famous and well-known, McKeon later thought about the problems that came with being so closely linked to one role. He had trouble with typecasting, like a lot of young actors who got their start in shows. After the show ended, McKeon had a hard time getting parts that let him show off his acting skills. Producers and casting directors often saw him through the lens of Tommy Hyatt, which made it harder for him to change in the business. While he did a number of guest roles in smaller projects in movies and on TV, he was never again cast in a major role that got him as much attention or praise. Philip McKeon was still thankful for the time he spent on Alice, though. He talked a lot about how the experience changed the way he thought about making TV shows, working with directors, and being in a close-knit group. Because he was interested in how TV shows were made behind the scenes, he eventually went after a second career as a radio host, producer, and director, where he could use his knowledge of entertainment in more technical and creative roles. Philip McKeon never quite regained the level of popularity he had as a child star on the comedy Alice, but that doesn't mean his career fell apart or wasn't interesting. In fact, he stayed in the entertainment business all through the 1980s and 1990s, appearing on a number of popular TV shows that showed how versatile he was as an actor. He had guest starring parts on famous TV shows like Chips in 1979, which was about the lives of two motorcycle police officers from the California Highway Patrol. McKeon played a young character whose appearance gave the episode a bit of youthful energy and emotional depth. Later in 1984, he was in Fantasy Island and The Love Boat, two of the most popular and well-known variety shows of the time. He was able to keep working in front of the camera and stay in touch with fans who had grown up watching him on Alice. These roles also gave him the chance to act in a variety of genres, from serious roles to funny ones. In 1988, McKeon added to his acting resume by appearing in the political thriller TV miniseries Favorite Son. This showed that he could handle more mature and complex roles. At about the same time, he began to appear in full-length movies, which marked the beginning of a new phase in his work. In 1982, he played Tommy Russell in the made-for-TV movie Leadfoot. This part gave him a chance to show off his acting skills in a high-stakes drama. In 1987, he played Richard Farley in the cult hit Return to Horror High, which is one of his most famous movie roles. The movie got mixed reviews from critics, but it now has a lot of loyal fans, and McKeon's acting is often mentioned as one of the best parts. Afterwards, McKeon was in several movies that catered to people who liked scary, science fiction, and experimental stories. He was in many different types of movies, such as Red Surf 1989, a gritty action drama with a young George Clooney, 1976 Evil 2 1992, a supernatural thriller, Sandman 1993, a psychological horror, and Ghoulies 4 1995, a part of the cult horror comedy series. Even though none of these movies were big hits at the box office, they gave McKeon a steady stream of work and the chance to try new things with his craft, like playing darker or tougher characters than his TV persona might have allowed. Philip McKeon eventually chose to switch jobs and work behind the camera, using the skills and knowledge he had gained in the business since he was a child. He then moved on to production and direction, showing that he knew a lot about both telling stories and making movies work technically. He was the second assistant director and co-producer for the drama in 1992. There was a movie called Where the Day Takes You that followed the lives of homeless teens and young adults in Los Angeles. The movie got good reviews, and it helped McKeon become known as a strong force behind the scenes. As an assistant director, he kept working on movies like Sandman, 1993, and The Young Unknowns, 2000, improving his skills and showing that he could handle big films. Then, in 2003, McKeon directed his first movie, Edge of Nowhere, which got good reviews for its thoughtful direction, deep themes, and interesting plot. He also did very well as a producer. He had something to do with making Teresa's Tattoo, 1994. Funny crime show called Murder in the First, a tough court drama with Kevin Bacon in 1995, and The Jacket, a well-reviewed psychological thriller with Adrian Brody and Kira Niss in 2005. These projects showed that McKeon had grown up and become an experienced director with a clear artistic vision. His name hasn't been in any major movie credits in recent years, which has led to rumors that he may have quit the business to focus on other things, or enjoy a quieter life away from the spotlight. McKeon went to a special school in Burbank, California, called St. John Paul II STEM Academy. He was known for both his skills and how he looked. He kept his tall, good-looking body even when he was an adult. At an impressive 6'3", McKeon had a strong presence that was boosted by his slim build, dark brown hair, and bright blue eyes. Fans who had seen him grow up on Alice often said that he had changed from a cute child star to a handsome, well-groomed adult with classic Hollywood looks. Throughout his life, his good looks stayed a part of how people saw him. Philip McKeon was probably best known for playing Tommy Hyatt on Alice. Millions of people loved him in that part during the show's 9 seasons, which ran from 1976 to 1985. Linda Lavin played the lead role, and McKeon played her son. He brought heart and humor to the show. He spent a lot of his early life in that job, which also set the stage for his career. It's interesting that the actor Linda Lavin saw him in a Broadway show and suggested he be considered for the part, which led to this life-changing chance. That shows how charismatic and talented he was even when he was so young. Philip was also Nancy McKeon's older brother. Nancy went on to become a TV star in her own right. Nancy is only 17 months younger than Philip, who was born in April 1966. As kids, the two were very close. The event that would shape both of their lives was the modeling audition that they went to as toddlers. It was their parents who took them. Philip was the first person to work in the field, and Nancy soon followed suit. She began as a child model, just like her brother, and got a few commercial jobs. However, NY's career took off when she was cast as Jo Poliak on the hit sitcom The Facts of Life. The role earned her a lot of praise and a place in television history. Even though she started out after her brother, Nancy may have become more famous and made more money over the years. She did a lot of work on TV, won awards, and stayed a well-known name in the business well into her adult years. She married film tech Mark Andrus in 2003 when she was 39 years old, and the two of them built a life away from the spotlight. Even though the brothers went their own ways in show business, they stayed close because of what they went through as kids and their family ties. Philip McKeon is gay. For a few years now, people all over the world have been saying that Philip McKeon is gay. Even though he was very good-looking and strong, the former actor, writer, and director did not get married. He never talked about his marriage in public. Who is Philip McKeon's wife? Was the question people asked about him before he died. Is Philip McKeon a gay man? Does Philip McKeon have a wife? People said Philip McKeon was gay because he lived alone in a nice house. There are a lot of good reasons to put off getting married or not get married at all. Philip McKeon wasn't gay. He wasn't just married. As an actor, McKeon made a living in other ways as well. There were times when he worked in Hollywood as a director and a producer. Part of the reason for this question being about his sexuality is that he has a pretty good-looking face. A lot of people want to know who Philip McKeon's partner or wife was. Some people say that he has a wife, but others say that's not true. No one knew about his sexuality before he died because he didn't tell them. He seemed to really enjoy his personal life and liked hearing all the rumors about him getting married. He was still single when he died, which led to claims that he was gay. Besides the rumor that he was gay, he wasn't linked to any other controversial events. As an actor and model, Philip McKeon did a lot of great work. There is no doubt that he left a permanent mark on the movie and entertainment worlds. Philip McKeon's story is moving, and it also clears up the myth that men are sexual when they are not married. It was shocking news that former child star Philip McKeon left behind a very personal and emotional note before he died too soon. This news has shocked his friends, fans, and the entertainment industry as a whole. Sources close to the family said that what was written in the note was shocking, heartbreaking, and enlightening. It gives a personal look into the private struggles that the former Alice actor had been through for most of his life. Battles that were hidden under the top of his quiet personality until now. Phillips became famous in the late 1970s as the likable Tommy Hyatt on the long-running comedy Alice. He grew up in the bright lights of Hollywood. But, as his note showed, the stress of becoming famous early on hurt his mental health, relationships, and sense of self-worth. He talked about his years-long battles with anxiety and depression in his last message. He said that these problems started when he was a teenager and were made worse by the unrealistic expectations that came with being a young actor in the public eye. He talked about how hard it was to go from being a child star to playing an adult role and how the lack of support in the industry for former child stars made him feel alone and forgotten. The letter also talked about his home life, which was very complicated. A lot of people know Philip's sister Nancy McKeon as Jo on the TV show Facts of Life. Philip told her how much he loved and admired her. He was proud of what she had done, but he also said it was hard for him to live in the shadow of her continued success. He told her that he felt guilty and unworthy, even though they had a close relationship. These feelings had been bothering him for decades. In his letter, he said that Nancy had always been his rock and light, and he was thankful for her love, even when he had turned other people away. Many people who read the letter were shocked by how honestly Philip talked about the emotional pain he had been feeling for years, including a haunting feeling of being alone. He was honest about the shame that surrounds mental illness, especially among guys in the entertainment business, and how he was afraid that being open about his problems would be seen as weak. He wrote, "I pretended I was okay for so long. I didn't want to let anyone down because I thought people would turn away if I showed how broken I was." The most important thing that Philip's note has done is start a bigger conversation about how the entertainment industry doesn't always provide long-term emotional support to the child stars it makes. In the message, he asked for more kindness, understanding, and support for mental health care, especially for young people who become famous too quickly. He said, "We need to stop pretending that smiles on screen means someone is okay behind the scenes." This is now seen by many as a strong call to action. The note is more than just a goodbye for those who loved him. This is a heritage that is both sad and important. People are more aware of the silent pain many people carry because of Philip McKeon's last words. They may one day help bring about the change he wanted to see. He was 55 years old and died in Texas on December 10, 2019, after a long illness. Unfortunately, his family did not say anything about the exact cause of his death.